Hello and welcome to your longest running Australian pro wrestling podcast, Wrestle Radio Australia. I'm Lachlan Albert, and I'm joined today by a two-time TNT champion, a World Tag Team champion with Sting, one of the four pillars of AEW, half-dead Darby Allin. Darby, lovely to meet you, mate.
Yo, how long's your podcast been on? You said the longest running. How long has it been?
Yeah, we just passed our 10-year mark last year, so we're about 11 years now.
Nice. Just as long as my wrestling career. That's cool.
That's crazy. That's so cool. Um, Look, I'm going to get right into it. Being based here in Brisbane, where Wrestle Radio Australia, the thing that we're excited about right now is AEW Grand Slam Brisbane, February 15th, 2025. We are so pumped for that in Suncorp Stadium. Have you got any hopes who you're looking to face at that event? Because we know you'll be there.
It's got to be one of the Death Riders. I don't care which one it is. It's got to be one of those guys. That's for sure. This whole thing is. I have a feeling it's just getting started. So
I was gonna say, like, it looks like a big fight's coming that way, especially since Moxley took your title opportunity at the last Grand Slam show and used it to become champion. There's got to be some bad blood there, right?
absolutely. The big thing about it is my big dream match. Everybody always asks me who would be your dream match. I always said Bryan Danielson. And then the fact that like he's gone now, and I'm like never got the match, and there's just so much things about it. I'm like but I like the craziness of what AEW has become. I embrace it. I would rather not have people get their face put in plastic bags, but in all honesty, like I've been through worse, so I'm ready to rock it, and I love the battlefield that is AEW at the moment.
Absolutely. Like saying you've been through worse, a man who's been hit by a bus. Like, you've shown that you can take punishment. And Tony Khan mentioned recently that a lot of contracts have those, clauses that say no high risk activity, and that's not something he's interested in putting on you. We're talking about, you looking at climbing Everest next year. Is there anything else you've got on the docket maybe to do in Australia, or are you just taking it as it comes?
Uh, you know, to me, when I think of Australia, I think of skateboarding. The skateboard scene down there is so big. So I definitely want to bring my board and have enough time to skate around and experience, some of the spots in Australia. But as for that, I'm literally Mount Everest is at the top of the list. I can't jump the gun here. I gotta approach one thing at a time, and Everest is, definitely that. But the thing is, training for Everest and also going crazy every week in the ring like I'm doing is no small feat, and I so it's very tricky to navigate, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Awesome to hear. Now, when we're talking about a big deal like Everest and we're talking about you coming to Australia, I believe it's going to be your first time wrestling in Australia. You're only 31. Do you feel like there's a feeling that you're running out of first times, even at such a young age?
Not really. It's weird. Um, like I've never even been to Australia. There's a lot of places I haven't been, but there's also a lot of places I have been. But I feel like the world is so massive that there's a lot there's a lot of times for first times to still come. So I'm excited about it. But whenever we go down to Australia, Brisbane, like for Grand Slam, it's just having the opportunity to perform in front of a country that I've never been at such a big level is something I don't take small. Like I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna put everything on the line. So.
Absolutely. And that feels like a very Australian attitude to have, right? Like, go big or go home. That's exactly the mantra. Do you feel like there's anything that the Australian crowd is going to take differently out of the Darby Allin character than you've shown in, the North American scene or over in Europe?
I think maybe they will, instead of watching the match like this, being scared, I think they're gonna embrace it more because it's like more on brand with the culture of just the craziness. So hopefully, hopefully they're like, yeah, kill him, Darby. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I do think that yeah, I think they're gonna embrace the wildness as opposed to a lot of fans tell me here, they're like, stop being so crazy. stop it. Like you already won us over. You don't need to do all those stunts. I'm like, who says I'm doing it for you? I'm doing it for me. Like,
Yeah.
with or without wrestling, I'll still be going crazy. So like,
That's the way, man. And I've got to pay respect. Another person with the, the straight edge lifestyle coming down. I think a lot of people talk about the drinking culture in Australia, but I'm so glad that we get to host more people who get to see just how crazy Australia can be living that straight edge life. How does that lifestyle kind of affect when you're traveling to big shows like this?
it doesn't really, because to me now, like the whole thing of peer pressure is so far gone. Like that was like some junior high, like high school
Yep.
stuff. But now like I don't even think of it. It's so natural for me to just not even think of. There's no such thing. If someone says, "Hey, you like in a different country, like you want a beer?" And I'm like, "Nah, dude, I'm good." And then they think it's weird. I'm like, I'm so used to it at this point that it's no big deal to me. But I think it's very fun to be the craziest guy at the party when you're the most sober guy. So
I know that feeling well. Look, there's a lot of talent here in Australia, and AEW has started to show off some of that Aussie talent as well. There's guys like Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis over there doing great work. Do you like know much about the Australian wrestling scene? Is that something you're interested in at all, or are you more focused on what you're doing in the ring right now?
I'm only pretty much focused on what I'm doing. Like I respect all outlets of wrestling, but I kind of only watch AEW. Like I don't really watch anything because I like to keep my wrestling intake very, very small because it's my life already, and I don't want to ever get burnt out on it. So when I'm not wrestling, I'm just watching skateboarding or doing something along those lines. But you can't argue with guys like Kyle Fletcher just taking the ball in the last year, and with his partner Mark getting taken out with an injury. It's kind of like, oh well, the fact that he was able to kind of forge his own path is really, really cool. And that's the cool thing about AEW. It's literally up to the wrestlers. If you can take it as far as you want, the world is yours. Whatever you want to do with it, like it's all up to you. So it's pretty cool. And he's a guy. He's kind of taking that.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time, Darby. We cannot wait to see you down here for AEW Grand Slam Brisbane, Suncorp Stadium, February 15th. I'm excited. It seems like you're excited for it as well.
Oh hell yeah, man! I'm ready. I'm ready.
Thank you
So
so much, Darby. Can't wait to see you. Have a good one, mate.
yeah, take it easy, my man.